Welcome everybody back to Ray of Hope of Happiness. Hope you're doing well today. Um, I know I haven't uploaded in a minute, been kind of crazy busy with the rescue and things to that nature. Well, I kind of wanted to do an update video of the prior videos I've done of Cleveland County School System. I have been advocating for my daughter, and I'm very disappointed in Cleveland County Schools. I have been asking. Last week, I spoke to Rodney Borders, um, who was supposed to get back to me. He has yet to email me back or answer any questions that I had. The principal has yet to get back a hold of me. There is supposedly a play that they want our children to go to January the 22nd at Lenoir-Rhyne University. Well, there is no play that I can find that is scheduled for January 22nd for Lenoir-Rhyne. It's $30 non-refundable. Well, no, $10 non-refundable, it says on the permission slip, and then an extra $20 for them to go. Well, I don't know about you as a parent, but in our current economy, in the current state of our economy, why? $10 is non-refundable, which is a considerable amount of money going to somebody if this trip gets canceled. If there's 150 students that are going, that's $1,500 going into somebody's pocket regardless. I have asked where that's going to go to. I have asked why, if this is curriculum related, it is supposed to be ELA related, why is the trip $30 and our tax dollars not paying for it? And I have been stonewalled. I've been stonewalled all the way from the school board all the way down. And this is not acceptable. No, I do not go to school board meetings, and I'm fixing to tell you why. We have had countless people go to the school board meetings only to be threatened with being arrested, threatened to be silenced. We have people on our school board now that have been censured, that cannot speak on behalf. They have literally taken their right to free speech away. Rodney Queen and Stephen Fisher do not advocate for our children. During the pandemic, my kids went without a education for 2 years. Where I live, internet and cell phone service is practically non-existent. And contrary to popular belief, internet and cell phone service doesn't run everywhere. It just doesn't. So with that being said, they still require our children to do everything on a computer. I have also asked for the current curriculum for any grade. I have been denied that as well, and have been stonewalled at every point. I also had my daughter come home yesterday. There was an incident that happened with a transgender student that has been known to bully children, and this person told another person that they were going to harm other children, and I was never called as a parent. And my child is a minor. I have huge issues with this. A Burns High School student was just arrested and kicked off the football team and everything else for supposedly communicating that he was going to harm another student. Well, why wasn't I made aware of this yesterday? Like, many things are happening behind closed doors when you send your child to school. Many things. And these school officials think that they're allowed to handle these issues without parents being present. Well, newsflash, no. Today, I will be going, hopefully, or I will be calling the school before I send my daughter back, because she is in grave fear for her life. This student has bullied, and like I said, and I don't have a problem with the child being transgender. Let's get that really clear and really straight. And I don't care what you associate with, but do not threaten to harm other students because they don't agree or don't whatever. If that's your choice and your parents' choice that you are a male and you want to identify as a female, so be it. But don't cram that crap down other kids' throat. And furthermore, I wasn't even called yesterday or sent an email when this incident occurred. So with that being said, I just have really a lot of questions that have yet to be answered. The school system, thinks that they can just do as they please, that they have all authority over our children, and I'm sorry. The U.S. Constitution states otherwise, and we have rights as parents. The school system here chooses and picks who they let by. Last year, we had a senior prank that totally destroyed classrooms, teachers' belongings. A principal was not held accountable. She gave the keys to seniors to go in and trash the high school. When I say trash the high school, I mean literally trash the high school. And, these were felonious acts. Like, if it would have been any other student that didn't have access to money or access to, their parents weren't, these kids had money, okay? And I use that quote very tightly because in our community, it matters if you're well-to-do or if you're blue-collar here, okay? Blue-collar families are not supposed to be allowed to speak up. They want us silenced. They don't want us to know facts and know how to defend ourselves. And at the end of the day, schools are supposed to be there to nurture your child and to teach your children. They're not doing that. When you cannot get direct answers from a principal, and when a principal hides from answering just basic questions, that's a problem. A huge problem. And Miss Blanton, I'm very disappointed in you, ma'am. I have called you multiple times, sent you multiple emails, and my child resides in your care for 8 hours a day, and you don't have the audacity, ma'am, to even call me or answer your phone. Last week, I stood on hold for 13 minutes. The secretary failed to. She told me that Miss Blanton was coming to speak to me. She never did. It went straight to voicemail. This is illegal, essentially, what they're doing. This is highly illegal. And we're standing by, letting them do this to our children. Now, mind you, if your child misses 7 to 10 days, the state has all right to file truancy charges on you. But you have no right, as a parent, to get free help from anywhere. You have to hire an attorney, okay, to get help to fight the school system. Like, DSS will not help you. Like, I was even told during the pandemic when I went to DSS, and I was like, look, my children have missed weeks and weeks of school because I can't get anything. I couldn't get paper packets printed out. I couldn't get none of that during the pandemic. And we didn't, and I want to make this very clear, where I live, cell phone service is non-existent. Like, you have to walk out of my house, walk the road in order to get cell phone service. And this is something that's been explained. We have many children here in Upper Cleveland that have the same problem, okay? There's no cell phone service here, and there's no internet here. But yet the county continues to not care about it. They don't care to answer parents' questions. And this is a really bad thing that's going on. A really, really bad thing. And me as a parent, and me as a person that, tries to do the best I can do. I run a rescue. I try to give back to my community. I'm also dealing with another issue. I have a crazy-ass neighbor. The law's been to their house 200 and something times, okay? They've been there 3 years. The law's been out here, like I said, over 200 times, a couple times, once for an overdose, knives involved, gun involved, kids have been removed from the home. And when I call the law, or when the law gets involved, It normally takes him 15 to 20 minutes to get out here. So with that being said, things dissipate over that said period of time. And, today I go into Cleveland County Courthouse to finally go to trial against my neighbor. He has caused us to lose multiple things. He has come after my daughter with a knife. And Cleveland County won't do anything. Actually, the Cleveland County DA allowed his attorney to come talk to me and say, well, why don't you just want to drop this? I was like, you do realize this is a crime against a 14-year-old, right? You do realize that, right? Like, I am, like, my process of thinking, is like, I have seen them in there crack down on some people that have been begging for help. This man, he has hit his wife. He has hit his children. They have stabbed one another. Like, when I tell you, like, we have lost countless hours of sleep because none of this happens during daylight hours. It's all after midnight most of the time when they get started. And I cannot even get our current DA to even do anything. This man even went after we proceeded to get him locked up. He then the next day went to my landlord trying to get me evicted, saying that we got arrested. And our current DA won't even revoke his bond. He said that is not grounds to revoke his bond, even though he was told to have no contact with us, even by a third party. So that's the corruption we're facing here in Cleveland County. It goes all the way across the board. And it's sad. I used to be that person. I did 4 years in ROTC, Marine Corps ROTC. I was fully a huge advocate of the law, a huge advocate of, the law was supposed to help us. The law was supposed to be there to right the wrongs. Nope. And I asked the DA the last time, like, last time, he told me that our court date was October the 30th. And then when I emailed him, the court date changed to the 31st. At the end of the day, I highly question the motives of our people in power anymore. It's clearly a bargaining tool. It's clearly who has the most money to get by with it. His wife has money, and he bought a paid-for attorney. And I literally have to live in fear living next to this man. And no, I don't have the money to just pick up and move, okay? Some of y'all are going to come on here and be like, well, why don't you just move? Well, okay, if you've seen the current state of the economy, who can afford to pick up and move when rent's $1,500 a month, okay? So, there's no such thing as decent humans anymore. And there's no such thing as people that are in positions of power that are supposed to hold people doing what they're supposed to do. When you when you go and file charges on somebody or you raise concerns, the people in positions of power are supposed to be there to help advocate for you. And I do feel that I'm being stonewalled on a lot of issues. It is sad. And when there's children involved, it makes it even sadder. I make these videos because at the end of the day, too many people have been silenced in my county. And I do mean silenced. They will go after your children. They will find any loophole that they can to try to go after you when you start raising concerns. And it's really scary what I'm doing, honestly. I pray about it every day but I ask myself, if I don't speak up, who is? And I encourage you, if you're a parent, even if you're not in my state, if you're going through this, please speak up, because that's the problem. None of us, we're so afraid to speak up because of the people in positions of power. And, there's people that have been elected, that we newly elected on our school board to advocate for our children, and they can't even advocate for our children because our school board is so corrupt. Like, legitimately, our school board is so corrupt. Like, you go to a school board meeting, like the last school board meeting, I think it was the one before the last one, there was literally people assaulting other people because grown men and women got their feelings hurt. Grown men can't, you know what I mean? They can't even carry themselves. Like, me as a parent, or anybody, if I come to you and you're our school board official and I raise a legitimate concern and show you paperwork, why is your first thing, well, the Stonewall? Rodney Borders, why haven't you gotten back a hold of me, sir? Like, I'm legitimately, like, blown through the water here. Legitimately. Because I feel that there's certain people in this town that you would throw underneath the bus. And I know you'd throw me underneath the bus. If I had to go in there, if I didn't send my child to school for 10 days and I had to go to truancy court, the judge would literally try to throw me underneath the bus. Well, you're being a bad parent. How dare you? How dare your kid miss 10 days? Well, how dare the school system allow my kids go 2 years without an education and not be held accountable? And I tried to get a lawyer through the whole, oh shit, what am I trying to say? The whole, like, you can get free lawyers, whatever. I tried that mess. That was a whole act of Congress mess. And it was, I don't get good cell phone service here, so I couldn't get the phone calls. And I only have one car here, and the one car leaves at 4:30 in the morning. It doesn't return till in the evening. So if I really want to get anything done, you know, as such as phone calls, anything like that, I have to go outside and make them. Or I send an email. And like yesterday, with what happened yesterday with my child at school, I wasn't even made aware. And they told her today that when she came in, she would go into a room full of people and that they were going to hash this out, blah, blah, blah. Well, why am I the parent? Why haven't I been contacted? Why? This is a minor we're talking about. Not a high school student, a minor in middle school. Like, I just feel like as parents, they're slowly trying to rip our rights away as parents. And I'm done with it. I'm done. You know, people can get mad at this video all they want to. But I am here to call out the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, I do a lot of videos on recovery. I do a lot of videos on what can happen when you find recovery. I advocate for people that are in need of those things. And I just feel like our whole judicial system, especially, you know, when it comes to, you know, holding people accountable, like, you can guarantee the county is going to, if they feel the need to hold you accountable, they going to hold you accountable. It doesn't really matter, and that's what the point I'm getting at. Like, it is so bad. Like, this man that lives next door to me, this is why I'm using it as an example. He has a paid-for lawyer who he has had it continued 3 times. 3 times. And the reason they've had it continued 3 times is because they didn't want me to show up. Now, if I would go get a paid-for attorney, I probably could get something done here in the school system. But I'm sorry, I just don't have $4,000 or $5,000 to do that. I'm just like any other person out here. You know, it's hard. Our economy's hard. People are robbing Peter to pay Paul. But I ask you, if you're watching this video, just know that if you're going through anything similar, I feel you. I really do. And if this is something you can relate to, and if it's something you can't relate to, fine, so be it. But I'm just doing this video to hold people, the powers that be, accountable, and making a video trail. Because at the end of the day, I have the emails. I was on the news twice, regarding during the pandemic. I know this video touches on a multitude of topics, but it all revolves around the powers that be, okay? The powers that be, they want to push it away. Push it away. They want you, the person that is seeking justice, to give up until it's them seeking justice. Now, if it's the county seeking justice, by all means, you're going to pay the piper. But when it's a citizen seeking justice and seeking information, I feel that we're being silenced. And I feel that, when you hold a county position, you're paid by the taxpayers. And if I call and ask you a question, I'll give you 24 hours to find the answer, of course. But it's been way over 24 hours. Like, it's been weeks. I called Rodney Borders last week. He promised he would get back a hold of me. He has not. I do have screenshots of all the phone calls that I've made. I usually don't like making phone calls, and this is for the very reason. Because I can't, I don't have another person recording me while I make that conversation. And I try to do all my things now through email. And they know that. And they know that, a lot of parents are trying to, get a paper trail. And when you get a paper trail going, it helps you a little bit more. Even with the paper trail with my next door neighbor, they still wanted me to just do counseling or mediation. Because he has a paid for attorney, and his attorney is a well-known attorney here in our county. And that's sickening. It's really sickening. I woke up this morning at 3:30, getting ready for the day, getting ready for court, thinking about what I'm going to do as far as the school system goes this morning as well. Because another student threatened harm on my child, and I wasn't called. I wasn't called yesterday. Wasn't even sent an email. So I will be making that phone call this morning. And, at the end of the day, if you're a believer in the power of prayer, I ask you to please pray for me this morning, because the powers that be are going to try me. And I will continue to make these videos on the good, the bad, the ugly, when it comes to recovery and what's going on in my world. Because I feel that, we have done, people in my county for years have exhausted themselves going to school board meetings, creating things to help our community, and they have been silenced from being able to do so. Like, we have this wonderful lady in our county that stands up against bullying. Do you know that our own school board said that she can't help in our local schools anymore? Like, you would think the school board would be like, yes, great, you're wanting to do that. Bullying is such a bad thing, but the problem is they don't like that, because most of the teachers are bullies. Most of the staff bullies our children nonstop inside our schools. And they don't want that to be an open avenue for kids to be able to go to a third party and put it on documentation that they're being bullied. So they pretty much told her she couldn't operate. And I look up to her, and I feel bad for her, because she truly loves our children. She truly loves helping others. She truly loves our county. And she has been to multiple school board meetings. Like, some of our elders in this community, they stood up, they done what they were supposed to do, and our corruption's to the level that it's all about money. We can't hold anybody accountable in this county. And that scares me. When we can't ask questions and get answers without grown men throwing temper tantrums, that's a problem for me. We don't allow our children to throw temper tantrums in the school. Like, if our children second guess a teacher, they can be sent to ISS. You do realize that, right? So again, this is a really off-topic kind of video for me today. But like I told y'all, this channel is to advocate for all things right and all things, and bringing light to things that are wrong and speaking upon them. And I feel that we need more people like me in the world, just speaking up and speaking out. So if you've watched this video all the way through, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you very much. And to all my new subs, I love y'all guys. Thank y'all so much for joining me along the way. I love y'all guys. Keep us in your thoughts and your prayers, as I will do the same for y'all. I hope y'all have an amazing week, rest of your week, and have an amazing Halloween. And peace out. Love y'all.